Hello, I'm George Lycan, and I was based at Marine Corps Air Facility New River in North Carolina from October of 1963 until August of 1965. Had 3 deployments on aircraft carriers during that time, on the Princeton, the Boxer, and the Guadalcanal. In April of '65, we set out for a 3-month deployment, and we were a reinforced squadron with extra aircraft from the VMO community and the HMH community. And we're on the aircraft carrier with a reinforced battalion of grunts with all their extra equipment and some support ships. And we were the ready force in the Caribbean, that anything at all that goes wrong, any kind of insurrection, anything that needed attention with military, we would race over on the boats and have our force help to maintain law and order. So the first part of the 3-month deployment, we sailed up to just off of the east coast of Puerto Rico to the island of Vieques. And we took the planes and flew them out to they had a runway there at Vieques and nice World War II style quarters for housing and a nice officers club. So we trained with the airplanes all day, and then we'd show movies up at the club, and you could eat dinner and have a couple drinks, and a pretty decent lifestyle. Weather was great. It was April in the Caribbean. It was not too hot, not too cold. And after we were there about 2 weeks, the situation in the Dominican Republic had become a problematic situation. People were shooting each other, and there was political disagreements. The Army was not exactly coincident with in agreement with the political structure. And so we took the task force down to just offshore of Santo Domingo. And we set up shortly thereafter a landing field, basically took over a big polo field, and we would have planes land there, and as a central point for collecting up the grunts on different missions, that we would fly them to different parts of the city and toward the airport to basically help maintain law and order and to operate in a military fashion. And it was not exactly a full-blown war, but there was a little bit of gunfire every day. In any event, we had a good time of flying and training, actually, while we were in that small war situation. And it looked like it might go on for quite a while, but the commanding officer at this time, in '65, was Colonel Clipsaddle, who had flown my aircraft commander check when I was a first lieutenant. And the flight check went very well, and Colonel Clipsaddle would give me tasks and missions that he figured I could complete with success, and I was honored and flattered. And he called me in there in July of '65. He called me into his office and briefed me to take a plane, single plane mission, down to the polo field and pick up some senior members of the hierarchy of the Catholic Church and take them to a church that is east of the main airport, about a 30-mile, 40-mile flight, and to drop them off at that church. There was a big green lawn out there that we could use as our landing field, shut down there, and wait for them to go into the church and meet with a number of other people who had, actually there was a number of trucks and cars there. When Colonel Clipsaddle set me out on the mission, I only knew which was the functionality, the dimensions of where, what to do, and what to look for. I had no idea that I would be in a pivotal part of the peace process. The Dominican Republic was and is fundamentally the religion, the prevailing religion there is Catholic. And in any type of difficulty and turmoil that involves political, military, and the civilians, if they're at all capable of doing it, they are instrumental in bringing the parties together. So they were there for quite some time. They came back. We started up again, got the aircraft ready to fly, and took them back to the polo field. Landed, they got out, shook hands with us, and we then flew back to the aircraft carrier. It was getting dark by that time. We go down, grab some dinner, and over the 1MC, which is the loudspeaker of the ship, we heard that we're setting sail the next day. I did not get a parade, and I did not get a medal for winning the war, but I was pleased to be instrumental in calling a halt to the combat operations. The alumni organization that I am in now, the only Marine Corps aviation alumni group that I know of, is called Papa Smoke. And the Papa Smoke organization itself puts out about 2 nice, readable bulletins a year. They mail it to us. And in a bulletin about a year ago was a small item that said, to the effect that if you flew in Domingo 65, could you contact me? And it had an email address. So I did. And it turns out it was a really wonderful guy to talk to. His name is Luis. And he was a 6-year-old boy standing at the polo field when we evacuated all those people, 700 people that were in danger during that time. And we took them to the aircraft carrier. And Luis later on moved to the USA. And he's an engineer and big airplane enthusiast, big time aviation enthusiast, goes to the Oshkosh Air Show, flies planes, all different types. And I consider him a good friend. And we've had a long talk, and I hope to see him at Oshkosh in the next year or so.